Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Melissa, and if you're new here, welcome. If you are new, I do speak about children missing cases. I talk about missing children cases. So today I have a new case for y'all. This case, y'all, it blows me away in a way that you think that you found the child, but then you end up realizing that you really did not find the child, and the real child is still missing to this day. So let's go ahead and get started and tell the story. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Paul triple disappearance, and you will find out why it's triple. And his last name is Fronczak. I don't know if I'm saying that. On April 27th of 1964, a one-day-old infant Paul Joseph was kidnapped from Reese Hospital in Chicago, Illinois. A woman dressed as a nurse had entered the hospital room of Dora and told her the doctor needed to examine the baby, and Dora handed the baby to the unknown woman, who left the hospital with the baby and never returned. 2 years later, the FBI told the baby's parents that they believed they may have found Paul in New Jersey. The parents met in the New Jersey child and said it was their child and that the child was raised as Paul. Paul doubted his identity as both a child and an adult, and after taking a DNA test in 2012, discovered that he was not related to his raising parents, Dora and Chester. In 2015, it was identified as Jack, who had disappeared in 1965. Additionally, he had a twin sister named Jill Rosalind, who also disappeared. The original 1964 kidnapping victim was found alive in Michigan in 2019, now named Kevin Ray Betty. Betty died from cancer in 2020. The woman who kidnapped the baby has never been identified. Jill Reese has never been located, but Paul believes that their parents, Gilbert and Maria, may have killed Jill around the same time they abandoned him. As witnesses told Paul that he and Jill had been abused as children. However, investigators believe that there is still so possible that Jill is still alive. The 2021 documentary The Lost Son showed Paul exploring the detail of his case. So baby Paul Joseph Fronczak was born on April 26 of 1964 at Michael Reese Hospital. One day later, a woman dressed as a nurse entered the room of Dora and baby Paul's mother and told her that the doctor wanted baby Paul examined. Dora handed baby Paul to an unknown woman, and the woman left the hospital with baby Paul and was never seen again. The investigation was the largest manhunt in Chicago history up to that point, involving 175,000 postal workers, 200 police officers, and the FBI. 600 homes were searched by midnight that night, but there was no trace of baby Paul. And I think back then, that's one thing that I think has changed a lot. That back then, the babies would be taken out of the mom's room and go to another nursery room and be examined. And now I like the fact that now they do everything in the room with the mom, because that's one thing when I had my daughter that I was so concerned about. Like, are they going to take her out of the room? And I wouldn't know where she's at or what they're doing to her. But they did everything in the room, so I was really glad about that. On July 2nd of 1965, a male toddler with a black eye, later known to be Jack, was found abandoned in a push chair in busy shopping center in Newark, New Jersey. Law enforcement expected the case to be solved quickly, but no one came forward to claim the toddler. He was then put in foster care and given the name Scott. FBI later notified and said that they had believed Scott Mickley may be baby Paul, as Mickley was the only child that review whom they could not fully rule out as baby Paul. The forensic traveled to New Jersey and said that Mickley was baby Paul. Mickley was later adopted and raised as Paul Joseph Fronczak. Today, it is generally believed that Jack Rosalind was abandoned by his parents Gilbert and Maria Russell. When Paul, for instance, was 10, he entered the car space in his home looking for Christmas present, and instead found newspapers clipping about the kidnapping of baby Paul. He brought the newspaper to his mother, who scolded him and said, "Yes, you were kidnapped. We found you and we love you, and that's all you need to know." Francis said that since then he had always wondered if he was actually his parents' child. He did not bring the subject up to his parents for almost 40 years. And in 2012, Frank decided to take an identity DNA test. He asked his parents, and they were surprised but agreed, and met him in Chicago so they could take the DNA samples together. The meeting ended and Paul returned home to Las Vegas. Then his parents changed their minds and told him by phone that they did not want him to send the DNA kit. After struggling with the decision, Franklin decided he would send the sample anyway. He later received a phone call from Identity GN, and the caller told him there was no remote possibility that his parents' biological child. Francis then went to find out his true identity and also went to find out what happened to baby Paul. A group of genealogist volunteers called the DNA detectives offered to take his case for free of charge. And in 2013, on June 3rd, 2015, the group told Franklin that they had identified him as Jack Roseland, and of an Atlanta City, New Jersey, whom seemingly vanished in 1965. They informed him that he also had a twin sister who had disappeared named Jill. Later met biological relatives, some of whom informed him that they had seen him and Jill as children and suddenly stopped seeing them, and that his biological parents, Gilbert and Maria, would come up with excuses as to why the twins would no longer be there at the family meetings. Biological family members also recalled that they had seen Jack and Jill badly abused and neglected, and one family member said they witnessed Jack and Jill sitting in a cage. Gilbert was described as an angry man after returning from the coroner ward with PTSD, and Maria was described as a heavy alcoholic. Susan Walter, who had babysat the Roseland older children, later told Frankie that when she had babysat Gilbert and Maria, Roseland had told her not to bother with the twins upstairs. She went upstairs out of curiosity, where she found Jack and Jill in a room which was empty beside them, and that their cribs. She said that Jack had a black eye, that he and Jill were dirty, and that the room reeked of urine because the sheets had not been changed. She spent the whole night with Jack and Jill, and Gilbert and Maria were furious the next morning when they found her in Jack and Jill's room. Wallace stated that she got the impression that Gilbert and Maria had been partying and that they smelled like alcohol. Gilbert and Maria both died in the 1990s from cancer. Good. And I hope you are burning in hell. I'm sorry. Franklin said that he believes Jill may have been killed or something tragic may have happened to her, and that his parents then decided to get rid of him because they couldn't explain just one twin. He said, however, that he believes Jill could still be alive, and National Center for Missing and Exploited Children created a compassionate recognition image of what Jill may look like if she's still alive. No picture of Jill has a child are known to exist, and the investigation into her disappearance is outgoing. In 2019, a Michigan man named Kevin Ray Betty was identified as the baby Paul, who had been kidnapped from Chicago Hospital in 1964. Although his identity was not revealed to the public until 2020, when Ray died of cancer on his 56th birthday. Before his death, he spoke multiple times on the phone with his biological mother, Dora, but they were never able to meet in person. Betty had been raised by Lorena Fountain, who had been dating a doctor from Chicago when she suddenly moved to Arkansas for a year and then returned with baby Paul, who was raised as Kevin. Fountain died in 2004, and it's unclear how Kevin got the last name Betty. The perpetrator of this kidnapping has not been defined to this day. The FBI investigator into the kidnapping remains open. So this kind of is a different type of missing case. I've never done this one. This is my first one because there were two kids missing. One because the parents decided to abandon one child, and then another pair of parents, their child was stolen from the hospital. They don't know who stole them, but whoever stole, the woman that stole baby Paul, gave him to another woman. You know, and those days it did happen, where women will steal other babies and sell the babies for money. So it did happen a lot, so I'm not surprised. But it's so crazy, and I wanted to do this story even though it's not a missing case, it still kind of is a missing case because we only still one person. We do have one person that is still missing, and that's Jill, and that's Paul twin sister. I'm gonna call him Paul because I don't want to confuse y'all. But Jill's still missing. We don't know if she's alive. He thinks she's still alive, and he has that hope that she is. And like, family and relatives of him think that his parents probably did end up killing Jill, and they didn't know how they were gonna explain how you have one twin but you don't have the other twin. It maybe could be like that, but it also could be because if you think about it, why would you kill one twin but not kill the other twin? People are gonna ask. So it may be that the parents abandoned, left Jill somewhere else and then left Paul somewhere else and separate both of them so they won't be together. And I don't know if that makes sense. Like, say Paul was they left him at a grocery store, but then Jill, they left her at a mall and just left her there, and they just drove her away. That's what I think, and I hope that she's still alive, and and she's probably doesn't know that she's a missing child. I mean, there's no baby pictures of them as babies, so you wouldn't be able to see how she looks, or she doesn't probably have memory how she looked like a baby. I hope that he gets answered, and I'm glad that both families, baby Paul's family knew was able to find out where he was and everything, and then the fake Paul, his he got to know what happened and how his parents were and everything, and he has relatives that and it's just crazy how this whole thing could come around, and it's just so confusing. And for him to know that he felt like this, he was not baby Paul. Like, no, I'm not baby Paul. But yeah, guys, I will come on Monday, hopefully, or hopefully soon. I don't know when, again, with one new video. And I hope y'all have a great day. Y'all enjoy your Friday. Enjoy this weekend. If you're in Houston, enjoy the weather. It's crazy. I heard it was supposed to get colder, but you never know with Houston weather. I will see y'all soon.